So, who is this Jennifer Stirling-Campbell person, and why should I even listen to her? Welcome to the Overcome Depression podcast. The tools you learn here can make depression a part of your past, allow healing regardless of your present circumstances, and offer hope for your future. I am your host, Jennifer Stirling-Campbell. Jennifer Stirling-Campbell is the girl you're looking at right now, and I'm going to show you this resume of sorts of all of the things that I have done, experience I've had, kind of a conglomerate of random things, if you will. Nothing really terribly related to depression, or you won't see a doctor or psychologist, therapist on this list. You will find wildland firefighting. I'm a trumpet teacher. I graduated in trumpet performance. I work from home managing sheet music on a website. I help Lindsay Sterling with some of her online emails and such. But what do I know about depression? I have no certifications in that area to speak of, no documents that I can wave in my hand and say, look, I got this degree from this special university that exceeds the standards of the profession. I really can't say I have any of that. But what I do have is a lot of experience and a lot of trial and error and a lot of doing and trying things that most people have never done or tried. or should I say, not most, but I don't know that most people have tried as many things as I've tried. So I really do have this massive toolbox of things that I found work for some people, work for me, or don't work at all. Or maybe they work, but maybe not the best option. So I will probably discourage those types of tools and treatments. But ultimately, the decision is up to you. I will present the information and offer considerations and solutions, and then you can decide if you want to try them. Again, that's where intuition comes into play, because it's hard to do everything. And so prioritizing what you think will be best for you is going to be key. I do have 4 accomplishments in my life that's not on this list that I'm especially proud of. The first is in overcoming chronic, quote unquote, genetic depression. I had depression for the first 25 years of my life. I didn't know a day without it. I honestly didn't know what happipiness felt like. I knew what it felt like to be excited about something for about 2 seconds, and then I would kind of go back to, it was pretty below most of the time, and it went from low to lower. It was pretty mediocre as far as my ability to feel anything apart from anger. And that was the second thing that I was able to overcome, was that I am no longer angry. And that doesn't mean that I never, ever, ever get mad, or that I never have some righteous anger, or that the things that happen on the news don't make me upset sometimes, or that I never yell at my kids. Oh, I never, right? I wish I never yelled at my kids, occasionally. But the thing is, it's occasionally. It's not every day, all the time, up to water in anger, barely able to breathe, and trying not to lose it at any given moment. It really did feel that way, that it was only a matter of time before I would explode. And it felt like I was constantly this stick of dynamite, like I constantly had a stick of dynamite in my hand, but I wasn't allowed to look at it. And I never quite knew when it was down to the end of it, or when I would basically lose my mind and end up saying and doing things that were hurtful to people. So I think I heard a friend of mine say to me, well, how awesome it is that you can control your anger now and that you don't do those things anymore. And I said, the gift is that I don't have to. I tried so hard before. I mean, I cannot express to you how hard I tried to be a good person, to be nice to people, to not lose my temper. And being on the other side now, having that perspective, it's really not about me controlling it. It's the fact that I don't react anymore. Like those chemicals, those surges, those things that I felt before just don't happen. Now, that took a lot of programming and training and releasing and facing my fears and traumas and so forth. And we'll go through a lot of that in this program. But it's just such a wonderful place to be able to manage situations in such a way that I don't have to resort to anger. I feel in control. I feel like I can still set boundaries. I can still do something about icky situations or stand up to people who are not being nice to me, but I can do it in a way that's more Christ-like or godly, divine. That's the kind of person I want to be. And I know that some of you struggle with this. I know that a lot of moms are probably listening right now, and my heart goes out to you. I know how discouraging it is to be trying so hard to be a mom and feeling like you're failing every day because you're taking your anger out on your kids. And there were times when I thought they'd be better off without me. Oh gosh, maybe I should just go to work and get a nanny. And don't believe that. Your kids need you, and they need you to stick with this program so that you can get to a point where you can be in control of the anger. Basically, you're being in control of your life, and that the anger doesn't control you anymore. The third proudest accomplishment, I'm sorry, I was gonna say they're out of order, sorry. My third accomplishment is the fact that I have healed myself time and time again. There's a few big ones, but they're the Candida. I healed myself from. I healed myself from strep throat a few times. What do they call it? Arthritis. That's the word. But I was able to naturally heal myself from these chronic conditions. The Candida was by far the hardest. It took me about a year to get that kind of under control, and then another 10 years before I stopped feeling addicted to sugar. So it actually took that long. I no longer crave sugar. It's kind of miraculous, but sugar is one of the most addicting substances there are. So that's kind of, along with my health, chronic conditions, was giving up sugar, which was, they say, is more addictive than cocaine. So if you're here, it might take some time, but after a few months, I was okay. The first few months were hard, but one of definitely the hardest things I've ever done in giving up sugar. The fourth and final, my proudest thing I've accomplished is that I was able to heal from and overcome same-sex attraction. Believe it or not, I struggled with that and fought it really hard for about a year before that point of surrender and decision where, long story short, I actually said a very short prayer and told God that I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix this, and I'm so tired, and I just want to be happy. It's a lie we tell ourselves a lot. I just want to be happy, which we do. But I think when we're in the depths of despair and hopelessness like I was, it gets to a point where you just want so badly to feel better. That's all we can think about is I just want to be happy. The thing about happiness, though, is that it can be fleeting. It tends to wane. What we're really after, if we really, really get down to the truth, I think most of us actually want lasting joy and peace. And so when I said this prayer, I told the Lord essentially that I can't do it anymore. I can't resist this. I'm going to go through with it. Stop me if you can. And he did. And I'm not sure why he helped me, and that others don't necessarily get that out. But I literally couldn't make that decision. I couldn't move forward with it. The decision was taken from me. Now, I realized when it happened, I was feeling angry and frustrated and sad, but I was also feeling a sense of relief that someone had interceded. And I knew that if I tried again, he wouldn't stop me. But it gave me enough time to turn to God, really get that relationship back with him, or again, from a Christian perspective. But I healed, and I got to the point where I was able to reconcile those things, let them go. And now I am very happily married to a male. And I'm not attracted to females in that way. I don't want it anymore. And I don't know very many people who have experienced that to the extent that I have. Some say, well, you must not have really been lesbian, because I was like, oh, well, if you had experienced what I had experienced, I think you would know that I was very much there. And it was terrifying for me at the time. I didn't want it. And I think, and if you're listening to this and this is the lifestyle you've chosen, that's fine. But this is not what I wanted. I wanted a family. I wanted to have my own children. I wanted the man. I wanted to follow my religious convictions and my beliefs. And so this was really a crossroads for me. I always believed that God loved me and cared about me, and that he had my best interests at heart, even if I couldn't see the big picture, or see, what the heck are you doing with my life? I don't understand. Why is this happening? How did I even get here? And it can be very disconcerting and humbling and humiliating when I found myself struggling with things I never thought I'd struggle with. But it did give me a lot of compassion and empathy for those who have that's one of the challenges in their life. It's not an easy thing. So I hope that the fact that I'm not a doctor or a therapist doesn't deter you from listening or considering the information I have to offer. Again, I've spent about 10 years or more basically compiling this information and trying everything I could, seeing if it would work, and being able to kind of weigh the value of these different things, and trying them on myself and my kids and my husband to see if it helped them too. My mother was able to benefit from some of the information that I am sharing with you. She is no longer depressed. So she's one of the many that the list keeps getting longer of people that I meet who are indeed able to overcome this tragic chronic depression thing. It's crazy that we struggle with it so much in this country. But I really believe that you can overcome it, and that you can add that to your resume one day as, look what I did. And then we could add more and more people to this list. Could maybe make an I'm Aquarius diploma at some point for those who are like, I feel like I've made it. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here, for listening to me and considering what I have to say, and considering the tools that I will attempt to offer you. I do believe that we are literally the hope of this world. the people living right now, okay? But we're also the hope of our ancestors and the hope of our children. Because I believe, and again, this is a scriptural reference, Christian scriptural reference, so filter it as you will, but I believe it was Ezekiel who said that the hearts of the children would turn to the fathers and the fathers to the children. And in Mormonism, we use that term to refer to, oh, that's the temple work, the proxy work we do in the temple. But I think it goes further than that. I think we can also do proxy work on ourselves. This temple we have here, there's my garment showing. Speaking of, but that this is the temple that Ezekiel is talking about, not just the physical one that we go to, but that as we heal this vessel, our spirit, our body, our mind, our emotions, that it works forwards and backwards. Our ancestors can accept that healing, and our children can accept that healing as well. We can lift, essentially, curses that were essentially given to us in some instances. I mean, I was practically born depressed. I was a very depressed child. Where did that come from? Oh, your genes, all right? And so sometimes we inherit this stuff, and it's not even our fault, but it's still our opportunity to rectify it, to heal from it, and to forgive those in our past who passed it on to us. That's a big deal. Forgiveness is kind of key. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. And I will say that before I go, and I'll say this many times, but that the root of depression is belief in lies. We all believe in lies. I'm no exception. But there are just lies that are detrimental to joy and things that we tend to hold on to with an iron grasp, iron hand, and we don't want to let go of. It could be something that we religiously believe, even that we think that we have to believe, or that this will protect us if we believe it. And how liberating it is when I've at first resisted the truth and then surrendered to it. And the release and the relief and the healing that comes when you recognize that, oh shoot, I don't have to believe that anymore. It's really that easy, but it's not necessarily that easy. So be patient with yourself. Again, I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am Jennifer Stirling-Campbell, and this is the Overcome Depression podcast. If you are new to this podcast, please go watch all of the hashtag introduction videos first, and then consider downloading the Overcome Depression workbook. Links in the description. The content in this podcast is based on my own personal beliefs, is for informational purposes only, and is not intended to substitute for medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Please refer to the full legal disclaimer in the description.